Bueno, presente Habashima Shabashim Kohakodash, other bonus unto the apostles of great millstone, and I honor you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And above everybody, I coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shabashim Kohakodash, giving all praise unto Habashima Shabashim Kohakodash. Okay, so this is going to be a relatively quick video based upon this handful of articles here that we see coming from South Korea and the event or situation that had played out a couple of days ago, namely yesterday, not a couple of days ago, but rather more yesterday. And I suppose the purposes of this video is not necessarily to go into the nitty-gritties about that particular situation, but rather to go into the understanding that things could change fast. Things could change fast overnight, okay? And obviously for the people out there that's within that particular place, South Korea or whatever, they was under martial law literally overnight. Okay, they woke up one day, it was going, maybe the day before they was, having a pizza at a restaurant. Okay, maybe they went to the cinemas to watch a movie, right? Put their plans together for the next day and boom, they woke up on a Tuesday morning and they was under martial law. Now, we don't know how deep the martial law was, but certainly this particular guy, Yoon Suk Yeol, or whatever his name is, was going out there to take control over the government with military force. And that's reminiscent of what's happening out there within the so-called third world countries. And if you notice anything with these developed countries, as time goes by, they're devolving right into more and more operations like a third world country. Right? Look at the UK. All right, they're already calling for another general election. Look what's happening out there within, a lot of it staged obviously, but look what's happening out there with the Trump thing and Trump and his supporters and how they a couple of years ago, months ago, his supporters went out there and they run up on parliament, so to speak. So certainly we can see that these governments, by way of Esau's Hegelian dialectics, are dissolving into more of like a third world type of way of things operating. And this is just another example of that, right? How many times have you seen some Nigerian president, right, taking his people by military force or whatever, or some president or king somewhere within some foreign lands or third world country out there, and martial laws declared, governments are toppled over, whatever the situation may be. You've seen that a lot of times within these third world countries, but we understand Esau's getting ready to set up a new system out here. So a lot of these so-called Western countries, they're following after the same way, because let's just be honest about it. Why do these governments in these third world countries topple over? Why is it that you can have a situation like Saddam Hussein and he gets taken down and whatever, and there's opposition and whatever. I ain't gonna go into the depths and the breadths of all of those situations, because I'm really just trying to make a point. But how comes they get toppled over and the GDP of the United States carries on increasing because they've taken products out of those particular countries? That lets you know that there's somebody that's instigating these particular things within these countries. Now the problem is homegrown, so to speak. Okay, now it's homegrown, right? Starting with a little immigration over here, right? A little bit of immigration over there. That's the problem within the UK and United States. You're seeing what's happened as a result of that within the United Kingdom, right? The so-called UK. Okay. Additionally, you're seeing these are so-called leaders and presidents. They're becoming more draconian. So they're getting you used to, wherever you may be within the so-called Western world, they're getting you more used to, right? The idea of martial law, the idea of, governments falling apart within a period of a couple of weeks. They're getting you more used to that. They're getting you more used to chaos, okay, and disorder, right? Whether you're in the Western world or whether you're not in the so-called Western world, of which a lot of those non-Western Western countries, they're more used to instability, political instability, right? But this was a thing of interest to me because you got to remember out there within, so-called South Korea, there's a lot of big industries. So I was watching this a little bit and seeing how it would go. Okay, it didn't pan out how I was hoping it was going to pan out, but it is what it is, right? I guess we got to work today, right? But ultimately, what you got to understand is you have what's known as a global supply chain, right? You have a global economy. A lot of these businesses are intertwined and interlinked one way, shape, or another, because they've got vested interests within each other. Okay, there's something called tentacle contracts where there's partnerships amongst two businesses and three businesses, and they've got shares within each other. So there's a whole economical thing out there where, you know, if a guy decides that he wants to hit martial law or whatever, okay, it could have a grievous impact on the global economy. And so that's what I was watching, because you got to remember, Hyundai is a major corporation. They're based out there within South Korea, if I'm not mistaken. Samsung's based out there within South Korea. And you got to remember, the vast majority of Samsung is not mobile phones and TVs, right? The vast majority of Samsung is Samsung's what they call heavy industries. So, right, the business tools that businesses use, like I'm talking about big machinery. So they're a big player out there, and there's many other companies that are big players out there within South Korea. And you can imagine if they're under martial law overnight, that could have had a major impact on the global economy. Okay, that would have had a major impact on the global scale. So I was watching that. Okay, it didn't pan out, but it just goes to show you, overnight things could change. Overnight, and I suppose that's gonna be the title of the video. Overnight, martial law could be declared. Okay, overnight, martial law could be declared, man. So we're living in beautiful times. Okay, you gotta make sure your foundations are sure, right? In the knowledge that pretty much, you know, you might feel some type of way about it because you got children and you're worried about your children, or you're worried about yourself and how things are gonna play out. But it's undeniable. What's coming is better than what we have right now. Okay, what's coming is better than what we got right now. Okay, what Yahweh Shai is bringing is better than what we have right now. So the process by which Yahweh Shai is coming, we know, we understand it, is we got to go through the suffering. You know, we got to go through the trials. Okay, we got to go through a situation where, you know, it's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, but we got to stay steadfast in the knowledge that what's coming is going to be much better than that. And that's it. That's the video. So again, like I said, man, overnight martial law could be declared. And they've seen that over there. And again, like I said, major implications could have come off the back of that. Okay, it didn't play out, but just something to think about. So with that, I'm going to say all praise unto Yahweh Shai, HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles of great millstone, and the honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.